What you doing, you silly shelly dwellies, hey? Indeed, working your shells up. What are you like, hey? Should we start this thing off, shall we? Yeah. Sunday shop doo 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 doo. Sunday shop doo 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 doo. Sunday shop doo 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 doo. Arr. Hello, 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 hello. Greetings, welcome. Aloha, ahoy, ciao, bienvenue, all the others. How are you? If you're not here already, hi replay crew. You got to remember to say hello to the replay crews, because Tommy just farted. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. I didn't know if it was Father's Day in the States as well as the UK, or because Mother's Days are at different times of year, so yeah. What's happening? Unsurprisingly, not a lot. You know how it is. There's some stuff going on at work because we're getting new manager and assistant manager and supervisor and another team member. But happy birthday, Mark. Birthday and Father's Day. Oh dear, both at the same time. So only one set of prezzies. That's not good. You have to be like the Queen or the King and have two birthdays, one official and one unofficial. So if it's late enough in the day, I hope you've both been treated well by either family or whoever. Obviously, I'm not a dad, but apparently my fish keep getting me presents every year. Somehow they communicate to Mary what I want, and then it turns up. Thumbnail is my Father's Day card, which is goldfish in a bag full of yellow water. So I told you to go before we left. Almost started earlier talking on a video call with another content creator about stepped on a snake I couldn't identify. Yeah, that's snakes you can't identify. They're the ones you don't want to step on, because at least if you know what it is, then you know what you've been bitten by. Looked like a young bull snake. I have no idea on Texan snakes. The only snakes I'm familiar with are UK ones and trouser snakes. Family don't have them yet. I have a family. I just haven't spoken to them for 20 plus years. So yeah, I get that. Most of the time, it's for the best. So it's got a round head, and before it's vent, it gets much smaller in size. You got to stop gripping it so tightly, Tommy. There we go. There's a fart. Yeah, it's quite impressive how many creatures in nature do manage to mimic the dangerous version of themselves. I think even some of the dart frogs, that there are a highly toxic species, and then there's a non-toxic species, but they've evolved to look the same as the toxic species, which is very clever. Oscars won't bite me. They swim away. Yeah. Well, they'll probably bite you at some point. Saw a picture earlier this week of someone who actually got bitten by their axolotl. I'm thinking, what the heck do you have to do to get bitten by your axolotl? And they're not exactly fast moving, are they? Now, you should be able to see it coming. Bog snakes or hobnose can make a rattle noise from their nostrils, and they sound like a rattlesnake. I make a rattling noise from my nostrils as well sometimes, but that's more to do with hay fever than anything else, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, you get your domestic kitty cat. You get ones sort of orange and black and stripy that look like tigers. Now, I'm not saying that's evolution and not us crossbreeding stuff to within an inch of its life, but yeah, I wonder how many times, especially things that are recently being discovered. Like people think it's one species, but they're actually two species, but one is mimicking the first and the other very closely. So you've literally got to do a DNA test to see that they're different. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather not be trying to collect DNA from venomous or toxic wild animals. Yeah, there's over the generations. Well, those ones don't get eaten, so there must be a reason why. Perhaps it's because they're brightly coloured. We'll try that. It's evolution over thousands of years. Yeah, there is that. I mean, you know, random genetic mutations do happen, which, if they're a positive random genetic mutation, will march evolution forward a good few steps at a time, especially in something that, you know, has a new generation every year as well. That's why they do all the experiments on the fruit flies, isn't it? Because they have a new generation every couple of weeks. So the experiment that would take decades with humans, for example, or hundreds of years, you can do in a couple of months, unless it's aliens reseeding the planet. Yeah, could. Yeah, yeah. That might explain marsupials. That's just aliens screwing with us. It's just aliens going, you know what's going to throw them for an absolute loop? Send them one of these over. Just see what happens when the weirdness occurs. Oh no, they've started worshipping it again. Maybe that's what happened. They sent us a hippie that could walk on water, and then people started worshipping it. It's just, as likely a as likely a creation myth as any. When it comes to religion. Oh dear, we're on religion already. Change the subject. Right, what have we been up to this week? Water changes, work, walking Pippa. We had a monster thunderstorm come through yesterday, which was awesome. A possum, a kangaroo, and then a platypus. Yes. Don't forget the koala and the echidna. No, it's really going to confuse them. We'll give them an echidna. Oh, what? Why? A mammal that lays eggs. Oh yeah, that's going to mess with them. Got to be done. Yeah, monster thunderstorm came through. Well, for England anyway. I mean, we have golf balls, no, not golf balls. Hailstones coming down the size of mint imperials, which are pretty sweet. That was quite fun, trying to overhear customers and have a conversation with them when you can't hear anything because of the sheer noise from the hail on the roof of the building. And the rumbles and the crashes and the flashes, and no, I wasn't flashing. Then our resident ghost got all powered up and started throwing stock around. And not stuff that, well, yeah, it could have just slipped or fallen off the shelf on its own. No, things that they're not going to just randomly fall off shelves. One was a drum of cable that was laid flat, so it's not going to move, and it probably weighed about 20 pounds. Just comes launching off the shelf. Howdy, Linkbot. But yeah, so what did I get for Father's Day? 4-pack of Red Bull, 2 packs of chocolates, the ice cube, silicon ice, I say cube tray. There's sort of long, narrow, rectangular ones so you can put them in a drinks bottle. And the Park Tool Big Blue Book of Bike Repairs. So I can do all the work on my bike now. Aliens, yes. But then last night I had Zachy Boy jumping into bed with me, and Shadow was tromping around upstairs. Ooh, 2 tickets concert to see Greta Van Fleet. Ooh. Ooh, I've heard good things. Not necessarily listened to Greta Van Fleet. I've heard good things. I'd avoid casinos like the plague. Yeah. I don't know what the advertising laws are like in the States. I don't think there are any. Mix of Led Zeppelin, Grateful Dead. Yeah, that's kind of what I heard. Sort of throwbacky and cool. But yeah, I'll keep getting inundated with all the bloody adverts for all the various different online betting apps that you can do. And yes, there is an LED on the way out there. No, it's not a thunderstorm setting on that light like you get in Fluval Flexes. I think it's just a light going out. They're classic music back. Yes. Go back to actual music with tunes and melodies and rhythms and chord changes and progressions and all the good stuffs. Not exactly the same thing for 3.5 minutes. And in a lot of cases, the same words repeated as well. When you manual analog, yeah, not done to a click, probably done to a click track, but yeah, it's just something more, I don't know, soulful, warm. It's got more feel to the music than when it's done all by computers. Even though computers these days can do all the sounds, it's just everything's too perfect. A bit of string buzz isn't a bad thing. A slightly occasional, slightly off-timed drum hit or squeak of the fingers going up the guitar strings or bassist farting in the background. It is. Yeah, exactly. It's you get an emotional response to what you're listening to. It's not just something that is on. Which a lot of music, to me, I don't hear a lot of modern music, to be honest. But what I do hear, and even if it's one of my younger colleagues, go, "Oh, this is a banging tune," and I'm like, "I mean, okay, it's got a kind of catchy hook, but there's nothing else to it. It's straight 4/4, three chords, or it's straight 4/4. There aren't any chords." Yeah, you want that emotional involvement, which is why bands like Led Zeppelin, Grateful Dead, people still listen to their music because it still has that emotional impact. Oh, howdy, Tom. Dad's funeral yesterday, been a rough day. Well, my sympathies and condolences. Um, I don't know how it feels to bury a parent. I suspect my feelings might be completely different to everyone else's. But yeah, so I'm not going to try and say it'll all get better or anything like that because we're all individuals. We all grieve differently. We all get over it. Get over it. No, that's the wrong word. Sharpe. Come on, you're a nutter. You should know not to say them things. We all deal with these things in a different manner, and it takes different people different amounts of time. Take as long as it takes. And remember, real men do cry. 45 minutes, almost an album's worth. And the past week and a half. Day. Anyone still has theirs, call them and hug them today. Yeah. So this is the thing is you never know. You never know when is the last time you're going to see that person. Yeah. So, I mean, the fact that you found him is the really bad bit. I'd hate that part. Yeah. So every day I tell Mary that I love her. Even if we're not seeing each other face to face and we're just talking on the phone, I'll make sure I tell her I love her every day and I miss her and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit sappy, but you hug people like it's the last time you're going to hug them. And don't get all drama-fied over the tiny little annoyances in life. Life's too short for any of that, which I'm sure you guys all know, but there are plenty who don't appear to have got that reminder. In the background, listening while mowing. You mow away, Tomo. You can be the sad mower today. Yeah. We can't go back. We can't change things once they've happened. So rather than get angry, bite your tongue, count to 10 if you have to. And if you're wrong, accept it, apologize, and move on. Maybe put the thing right that you did wrong first, but you know, and as men, we all know everything we do is wrong. We're always wrong, even if we're right, because then we're wrong for making the woman feel like she was wrong. Let's put this kitchen light on. There we go. That's better. Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's one we seem to forget, especially when we're younger. The older we get, the more we become aware of our own mortality and everyone else's mortality. It's one thing if, like, your like in my case, my great grandparents died when I was young, so I was like, oh, I'm not going to see them again. And my granddad died last year, and my manager actually asked me if I needed a couple of days off, and we need some time off to go to the funeral, and we'll get that put through as compassionate leave. I'm like, no, I don't speak to them. I don't care. But yeah, so the older you get, and the more, especially when people around our own age start passing, that really does hit you. It's when people that you went to school with start passing on or shuffling off the mortal coil. They're going to be the ones that do of their own accord, we shall say. But when it's more natural causes or an accident, yeah, that really does bring it home to you. But yeah, so I'm sure all of Fish Fam is sending their sympathies and condolences to Tom. It's always a hard subject to talk about. I do try, because just because something's hard to talk about, I don't think that means we shouldn't talk about it. Normally, the harder it is to talk about, the more we should talk about it, in my book. Like mental health. Okay, generally, we've made great strides in the last however many years. That, yeah, right, it's just hay fever. I'm not crying. And we've made great strides in being more out and upfront about mental illness and struggles, but it's still not something that a lot of people understand. Some of it I don't think you can understand unless it's affected you. I mean, like, one of the children that Mary works with, we're pretty sure is probably a psychopath. due to their actions. I'm not going to name where Mary works or the child's name or anything like that, but because of certain things that they have done, and me knowing those kind of things, I'm like, yeah, you need to have a word with the parents and get them to a psychiatrist or a psychologist or whatever, because the earlier you can treat something like that, the better someone learns to cope with it. It's the weird thing, because that's not a bad thing to the person. Psychopathy, sociopathy is not a bad thing to the person that has it. It's just a bad thing to everyone around them. Some of the psychotic enough to be able to identify. Nutters can spot other nutters. It's just the way it is. You can see actions or see how someone is and go, yeah, I know what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, like 3 or 4 years old, something like that, to be doing those kind of things definitely warrants. And especially in this day and age, when all the parents are looking for a label for their child, it might not be the label they want, but it's an actual one. My sister, you think of a mental label, she's got it. She's a bit of a nutter then, as we would say over here. Yeah, she's all right. She's a bit of a nutcase, but don't worry about it. And the more you deal with people with issues, even if they're not issues that you have, the more you get to recognize the signs of it. I've given me several times. Oh dear. You really should have stopped wearing her underwear and pulling her hair, Tommy. That's what that was. You just learn to identify it. I mean, I'm absolutely crap at reading people. Part of my psychopathy is that I really, really find it hard to read people. But if they've got psychopathy, sociopathy, psychotic tendencies, depression, or any kind of like mental illness, I can spot it a mile off. It's seven years old and I was the baby. Yeah, she's still got jealousy from that. Yeah, as jealousy of looks now, bud. Unless she's smoking hot. Hey, you got to remember, I'm a decade older than you, Tom. So, you know, 45 years old is my wheelhouse. It's a younger woman in my book. Oh, my phone's going mad, pinging away. I'm really shocked treated the way she did because of her mental state. Yeah, 1979, yeah, 3 years younger. I think Billy Corgan wrote a song about her, didn't he? I don't know. Yes, Smashing Pumpkins did have a song called 1979. As they did have, they still do have, and they still do play it. Or I think possibly today might be more accurate. But speaking of Billy Corgan, have you noticed that whenever he starts a beef with anyone, I don't think he's actually setting out to start a beef. He's just telling the truth generally. They might beef back and have a go at him as a person, but they never have a go at the music. G'day, Craigo. How you doing? Give that doggo a fuss for me. And give Belle a hug. Yeah, happy Father's Day. Did you get any prezzies? I don't think it's that he's strange. I think it's just that he's honest. Honest and a perfectionist. Not a good combination to be getting on with people. As Craigos just turned up. Yeah, I was trying to explain to one of my younger co-workers the other day about Midnight Oil's Beds of Burning. I'm like, yeah, it's about giving the land back to the native Australians. What? No, it's about bed. No. Listen to the actual lyrics. Don't just dance along because it's a good tune. Perfectionists generally are quite strange just by terms and conditions. Yeah. Harry Mandel, Nikola Tesla, I think possibly to name the best Nikola Tesla I ever saw on TV or video or whatever was in Sanctuary, the Amanda Tapping paranormal show, where he was a character, a regular character. And yeah, he was Nikola Tesla, but he just happened to also be a vampire. Yeah, great minds. Yes, I'm definitely not a perfectionist. I'm a meh, how to do kind of person. Close enough. Why full arse it when you can half arse it? That's what I say. If you can half arse it and get away with it, that's a skill. Along with being lazy, but still getting the job done. As Bill Gates said, it's better to hire one lazy person who figures out the quick and easy way to get the job done than somebody who works really hard and never does it the easy way. M. Night Shyamalan twist. Tesla wasn't communicating with aliens. He was trying to reach his late mother. New movie coming out in 2020. Oh dear. Am I the only person that ever watched Sanctuary? Because if you haven't, I mean, admittedly, the effects don't really hold up anymore. And a lot of it was CGI. But yeah, it was an awesome show. I think 5 seasons. Yeah. Right. Anything with Amanda Tapping, and it's going to be good to watch, isn't it? Let's be honest. We all fondly remember that episode of Stargate Atlantis when the dude is trapped in the shuttle at the bottom of the sea, about to drown, and starts hallucinating her in her underwear. It's a TV show, Sanctuary. Yeah, 5 seasons. It was So she's like the paranormal investigator, gets a psychologist as like her right hand man. Her daughter is like kick-ass monster killer. Her ex is Jack the Ripper, who is the father of the daughter. Their servant, they live in a mansion. Somewhere in the middle of a big American city, there's a ye olde English mansion. And their servant is a Bigfoot. It sounds like a comedy, but it's not. I mean, it's funny in places, but it's actually, I really enjoyed it, and I might have to rewatch it. Yeah, Servant Sasquatch, exactly. I think it was actually played by the same person who played John Drury, who was Jack the Ripper. I've got the box set somewhere. I don't know where it is. I know. The DVDs are in a case that just holds the DVDs, and the case for it is tucked away in the back of a wardrobe somewhere. Along with the cases, there's so many other box sets that I bought over the years. Willem Dafoe is a voice character in anime Death. Well, again, it's one of those ones where you watch stuff, especially with it's anime or cartoons or anything with the voiceovers. You don't necessarily realize whose voice it is unless you sit and you watch the ending credits and see who's playing who. There's some real big name actors that have done quite a lot. I think Scarlett Johansson's done some. Obviously, Mark Hamill was the Joker in Batman. Other ones, there's been plenty. If they put on a slightly different voice, you don't necessarily notice it's them. I mean, playing the archetypal good guy in Luke Skywalker and then playing the archetypal bad guy as the Joker in the same career, that's quite impressive. The kids knew the voice right away. Got my oldest watching it, she knew right off. I was definitely embarrassed because I never put it together. Yeah, well, yes. It's one of those where you watch something, especially if it's something from a fair while ago. That's why with movies, I do sit there and watch the end credits because I'm sad. Always that means you get to know who the directors, cinematographers, whatever are. So if you didn't like the cinematography, you know to avoid movies with that person's cinematography, that kind of thing. If it was a cute female actress, you've then got a name to Google to see if you can find news. Yeah, you also get the odd weird one. Like, I think was it Critters 2 or Critters 3 is one of them. I was like, I know that little kid. I recognise the voice. And I kind of recognise the face, but I can't place it. It was only bloody teenage Leo DiCaprio, weren't it? Yeah, Boondock Saints, yes. I mean, anything Willem Dafoe has done, he makes it better. It's not like some of these actors you put in a movie and it makes it worse. Hayden Christensen springs to mind. He turns up on screen and you're not sure whether it's a character or a piece of furniture. It's so wooden. Although, you know, the complete lack of emotion, he did make quite a good Darth Vader. Christopher Walken, yeah. Oh, there you go, Liam Neeson. There you go, a comedy. Right, get this. A comedy heist type crime movie with Willem Dafoe, Christopher Walken, and Liam Neeson, and Harrison Ford. And then we're going to need some eye candy, so Christina Hendricks. There we go. I'd watch it. Bruce Willis is the cop trying to catch them, but not as John McClane, as the character he played in Moonlighting, opposite Sybil Shepherd. She was a stunner as well. And speaking of crazy people, Sybil Shepherd was nuts. I say was. I think she's still alive. I haven't heard that she kicked the bucket. She's the kind of older woman that scares younger men. The very definition of cougar, I think, would be fairly apt. Yeah. I don't know if I think I said something. I can't remember. Last week when Mary and I went out to get the blanking on the female version of an actress that makes all things better, Helen Mirren, Emma Thompson, Gianna Michaels. I mean, she doesn't improve the the cinematography, and it just looks good in a bikini. Yeah, Emma Thompson's always been really good, but then you probably don't get a lot of the stuff she's done over there. Older blonde. Oh, not Goldie Hawn. Anne Hesh, yeah, she's a great actress, but not her. Older blonde actress. Oh, Gary Sinise, he's another one who makes everything better. I'm not just randomly staring off in the distance. I'm looking at DVD cases, seeing if anyone jumps out at me. Definitely not Sarah Michelle Gellar. These days, I suppose she does qualify as an older blonde. Oh, Maggie Gyllenhaal. In an 80s movie with Goldie Hawn fighting over Bruce Willis. Yeah. Yeah, well, what we're thinking on that. So I may have said last week when we went out, we drove past. I mean, there's usually several dead animals on the A11, the main road. The freeway, as close to Norfolk is ever going to get to a freeway. 2 lanes either way. That's as wide as roads in Norfolk ever get. Merrill Street, that's the one. Dr. Quinn, not Quinn. Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. She was a hottie as well. yeah. So we went past, and I just caught a glimpse of this dead animal, and it was rather large. Well, sure, was it Meryl Streep or was it someone else? Um, yeah, so large dead animal, and we just drove past. I was like, "What? What the hell was that?" And it was lion coloured, right? And it had kind of long, shaggy fur. I was like, Death Becomes Her. Oh yeah, that was a good one. That one. Yeah, we sort of drive past. Like, the hell? That looked like a lion because it was a large animal and right colour fur and everything. Turns out it was someone's alpaca escaped. It's sad for the owner and sad for the alpaca and whoever hit it. But yes, it wasn't a lion, it was an alpaca. So I think if a lion had been run over on the A11, it would have made the news. Yeah, who was in, if it weren't Meryl Streep in Dr. Quinn, who was it? Jane Seymour? Was that it? I can't remember. She's another great actress as well. I haven't seen Jodie Foster in a bad movie either. Although, given how Jodie Foster looks these days, yes, we did have Xena over here and Hercules with fist cam. What was her name? Lucy Lawless. Oh, it's Kevin Sorbo that's basically got himself cancelled, who played Hercules, isn't it? Yeah. I haven't heard of Lucy Lawless going on to do much else. Mind you, neither did Kevin Sorbo. But then Brendan Fraser turned up at around about the same time, didn't he? And he's a better actor and actually funny. And not a complete douche arc. I'm not going to say douche canoe, he's a much bigger douche than that. Anne Hathaway, overrated and pretty, or really pretty? Anne Hathaway is one of those ones where she's unfortunately attractive. Because her looks take away from the fact that she is an amazing actress. If she wasn't quite so pretty, and I think as time goes by and she gets older, people will appreciate her more for her acting than what she looks like naked. Um, Kate Winslet, yeah, Kate Winslet's a great actress. Titanic's probably one of the worst movies she did. I think we were actually talking about it last week. Talking about the Reader, I think was the name of the movie. The new Meryl Streep, possibly. Howdy, Ricky. How you diddling, brother, dude, bro? Yeah, some really great actresses. My birthday in 40 minutes. Well, happy birthday for 40 minutes. And if you remind me, or if someone reminds me, I will sing you the happy birthday song. So you've got like 39 minutes to leave. just fair warning. Um, while we're here, let's just see if are they all hiding up. No, some are coming out. Let's have a look at some Sharpe barbs, French barbs. Somewhere in there. There we go. There's the cherry barbs I got last week. They've all coloured up nicely. Does look to be mostly males, so I might be forced to get a couple more. Otherwise, the poor female might get a bit worn out. Come on, come to the front of the tank. Don't hide at the back. Show everyone how pretty you are. There we go. They're actually colouring up really rather dark as well, which I'm liking. There's another female up there. Actually kind of look like a juvenile crebensis. Yeah, so they're doing well, thankfully. The one remaining Pseudomcgill is in there somewhere. I've not actually seen her since she went in there, so she might have kicked the bucket or got bullied by the limia, as they tend to do. Yeah, an aggressive live bearer. Who'd have thought it? Yeah. Put her in her own. She might still be in there somewhere. Might catch a glimpse at some point. Yes, hello, big boy. Yeah. You gonna do chasey finger? No. We do a chin rub instead. Yeah. Come on then. You can see all the limia coming straight to my hand though. Hey, over here. Yeah, I'm over here. It's not because I've trained them. It's because I think they're going to get fed, which they aren't because they've already been fed today. And we don't do multiple feedings because otherwise we have to do multiple filter cleans. And yeah, the amount of gunk I put down the drain that comes out of my filters every week, that's plenty enough. Thank you very much. Don't need to be doubling it if we don't have to. Yeah, lights are on them. I just need to clean the tank lids so the lights actually shine through them. You know how it is. You get a certain amount of time, you got to get your water changes done. So the little bits like cleaning the lids or degunking the bulbs or the lights, they can kind of wait. Although I'm off tomorrow and Tuesday, so we might get around to it. It's one of those where it all depends how I'm feeling as to whether I do extra. I've got to declag the drains anyway, first thing. I'm going to blame the weather. In fact, we've had a lot of rain again. That's what I'm saying it is. Not the fact that I've put several massive logs down the toilet and they've jammed each other up. Or another big chunk of crusty nastiness has come off the inside of the soil pipe and dropped to the bottom and blocked it. You know, we'll get it cleared. Where were we? Actresses. Oh, yeah, she's not with us anymore. Brittany Murphy, I was going to say, is another good actress, but unfortunately, um, yeah, they do seem to be come and go fairly rapidly these days. Actors and actresses, they don't tend to stay around too long. Because a lot of it is just looks over actual, talent. It's the same with the music, isn't it? If someone looks good and can dance, well, we can fix all the other problems in editing. Uh, yeah, so I can't celebrate this year's stupid 1 year rule. Since our cricket team is playing this season, anything there is a match, I'll ask them to make sure they win so I can party. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you can have a little bit of a quiet celebration with yourself, I guess, rather than having a big party. I mean, I'm not one to do parties anyway. It's something I try to avoid if I can possibly manage it. It's generally, my experience of parties is, and this is probably, possibly because I don't drive, so I end up like having to stay the night or get a taxi, which costs an absolute fortune. So yeah, stay the night and then someone can give me a ride home the next day. But I don't do late nights. It's like the party starts and I'm sort of almost ready for bed as it drags on and drags on. And then by the time I do get a chance to go to bed, I'm overtired and can't sleep. So I basically just lose 2 days for a party. So yeah, I try and avoid them generally. Plus, I usually don't don't really know anyone there, which makes things even more awkward. Because if everyone's there having a good time and drinking, and you're completely stone sober, and you just want to have a conversation about something, yeah, people tend not to want to talk about the kind of stuff I want to talk about at parties. Don't care about the venue or time. It's one thing, there has to be a fountain of whiskey. So you can swim in it, or so you can just lay under it with your mouth open and go, just have it just running straight down your throat. But yeah, whiskey is something I never enjoyed. Just don't like the flavour. Again, no sense of smell means everything tastes kind of weird. And whiskies, to me, taste soapy because I can't smell any of the aromas, which is most of what the flavour is. So yeah, it just don't taste good to me. They got that weird kind of texture afterwards as well, which I don't like. I like to drink something, and once I've swallowed it, it's gone away. Don't like lingering aftertastes. And don't take that the wrong way. I know what you lot are like. Um, what else have we been up to this week? Father's Day, work stuff, merry work stuff. Yeah, video. Yeah. Yes, another bikey video. I do apologise, but figured while most of the neighbours were out at work and while I had the stand out, it'd be a good idea to do a bit of a review of my bike maintenance stand. Um, it's It was a simple one to do, let's be honest. Because I'd forgotten about it again. Chocolate fountain run with whiskey. A chocolate fountain I can get behind or under, as long as it's good chocolate. The problem is the chocolate that people tend to put in chocolate fountains is normally cheap and nasty. And it's not good chocolate. There's one thing I can taste the difference on: a good and a bad chocolate. I was one of the ones who could taste the difference when Cadbury changed their recipe without saying anything. After they got bought out by, was it Kraft? And Kraft decided they needed to save money and change some of the ingredients, and was like, that don't taste like dairy milk anymore. Something's changed. I mean, it's not got that faint vomit flavour that like Reese's has got. Hence whiskey. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll get a chocolate fountain, fill it up with Aldi own brand whiskey. See how you like that. You'll get very drunk. Yeah, exactly. It don't taste like dairy milk anymore. It tastes like American chocolate. And weirdly enough, dairy milk sales have dropped ever since they changed it. Evening Volcanics, thank you very much. It was Sadie, wasn't it? Again, I'm really bad with names. Powdery texture as well, fine, but yeah, it's not as smooth as it used to be. It doesn't taste the same either. I think what they've done is they've probably taken some of the milk out and put more preservatives in. Wow, I remember the name. I am awful at names. Because the store I work in, you don't have to, but most people have a profile with us. So you ask for their surname and their post zip code, and then you can find their profile, and it'll tell you their name, their address, things they bought in the past, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. And it's got all their receipts on there for things they bought as well. So it does actually have a use. We get people, I'll see them almost every day, and for some reason the name just won't stick in my head. Well, I'll remember that it's something a bit strange. Vegetable proteins, yeah. Yes. As long as I don't try and make dairy milk vegan, kind of defeats the object of dairy milk. Because that would be I could call it non-dairy milk, I suppose. Be like sugar-free energy drinks. Entirely pointless. Ask many. many. Yeah, they don't stick in my head. For some stick instantly. It's like I can put that name straight to that face and it's instant, not a problem. Other times, nah, it's just not sticking. It's nothing personal, but I love dairy milk, but it don't love me. Yeah. Actually, speaking of because I'm guessing there's some kind of lactose intolerance in there. One of these days, I'm going to have to go into the dairy aisle in the supermarket. Apologies for the crudity, but rip a really loud fart out that stinks really bad. And then he's go, yeah, sorry, I've got lactose intolerance. Nut juice, exactly. And I don't think anyone wants to eat chocolate nut juice. Well, except for maybe Chef from South Park. I mean, if you have to squeeze a nut to get the milk out, you're doing it wrong. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. Yeah, I'll forget my own name as well. So it's not that it's restricted to me remembering other people's names. If you've got a lot of paperwork to sign, thankfully I don't now, but my old job, old job, where I was unloading lots of lorries, trucks. Show me on an almond whether it's either end. Yeah, that's where the cyanide comes out. Yeah, so it'd be like 26 plus pallets, and sometimes every single one of them needed signing for. And I'd get halfway through and just draw a complete blank signing the paperwork. Just standing there going, what am I supposed to write here? And then usually, because we dealt with the same companies, so it'll be a lorry driver that, or truck driver that I knew, and they'd go, Sharpe, thanks. So, yeah, I can start signing again now. I can remember my own name. Yeah, obviously seeds have mammary glands. But does the brain have memory glands? Lorries and tempos. Yes. It's one of those differences between UK English and American English. What you call a semi, we either call a lorry or an Arctic. What you call a box van, we call a truck. What you call a pickup truck, we call a penis extension. Then we have vans, which are basically a MPV, but without the back seats and slightly taller and no windows in the back end of it. Work vans. Then we have minivans, which are like a normal sedan car, but as a van. And our pickup trucks are the same size as normal cars. So and they have a chassis, not a chassis, because it's a French word. Yeah, I think that is one of the bigger switches between UK and US English, is that we still pronounce a lot of things the French way, whereas it gets lost in translation and pronounced the English way if you pronounce those letters. It was what was the channel name? Adventures and Naps, which sounds like a good channel to me. White van, kidnapping car. Yeah, they're the ones. Or a shag wagon. They either have a bunch of work tools in the back or a mattress. It's one or the other. Also, quite a few do get converted into like camper vans as well. Because camper vans are expensive, but work vans are cheap in comparison. I only know how to say I am a pineapple in French. Je suis un pamplemousse. Is a pamplemousse a pineapple? I think it is. I am banana. Nana. Oh, je suis un banane. Yeah. Le singe est sous la branche. Le chat est sous la chaise. Et le souris, c'est dans la table. The monkey is on the branch, the cat is on the chair, and the mouse is under the table. Hello, Deli, me darling. How the hell are you? Mwah. How's our favourite little Aussie ball of gorgeousness? Ananas is pineapple. Pamplemousse is grapefruit, isn't it? I think something like that. Yeah. Oh, and anus is a pineapple. Spiky, nasty thing that when you open it up is just as nasty inside. Cat is doing fine. Wake up for fussies. Oh, good little putty cat. Sending fussies back. Yeah. Pippa's all sleek and shiny again now. She had her groom yesterday, so she's had a bath and a haircut. Not quite such a smelly doggy. Not that I can smell her, but you know, you can kind of tell these things. Je suis le man. That'll be je suis un with I am a. Je suis un cette merde. And anyone who speaks French will know exactly what I just said. But yeah, I'll say a lot of the words are French. No, I don't, but you can, when dogs get a certain way, you can just tell they're going to have a hum to them. You know, sort of the coat gets a bit kind of sticky. I think she's got a bit of an issue with her anal glands as well, so that probably doesn't help. And sort of the white bits go kind of orangey browny colour. I think she's just not very good at cleaning herself more than anything. So she does need fairly regular baths and haircuts and pedicures. But yeah, so she'll be all excited again to go for a walk tomorrow, as long as it doesn't rain, because she'll get even soggier even faster now. She'll realise she's getting wet earlier and she won't like it. Although we did go for a rather long walk on Friday, and we did 2.5 miles, which doesn't sound that long. Good day, Sir Scott. How the devil are you? Hugs to Paige. I walk the neighbour's dog, Ricky. It's a little, but yeah, 2.5 miles doesn't sound that long until you realise she's a Lazarapso. And her legs are about that long. So 2.5 miles for her is a long walk. But it did mean when we got back, she slept quite a long time. So I managed to have a good nap without her barking at everything that walks past. or a leaf moving outside, or a cat farting 3 streets over. Um, it's not because she's being a guard dog, and like she's not guarding her territory. She's basically just shouting at someone to come and give her a fuss because she hasn't had a fuss in a while. That's all it is. I'm just glad I was at work yesterday when the thunderstorm came through, because if it had come through on Friday, I would have ended up with her and the 4 cats all trying to basically bury themselves under me. Yeah, it's another job. Normally she doesn't go too far, maybe a mile at most, and she's starting to flag after that. But yeah, it's just get her out, give her a bit of exercise. She gets a good fuss, so she's not left alone all day. Obviously, neighbour goes to work. Also means she normally has a poop as well while we go, so he doesn't get home and find that she's left a log somewhere indoors. Yeah, it was a good one as well. Big old hailstones. It was right overhead. Absolutely threw it down, and then about an hour later, you wouldn't have known it rained at all. Literally 5 minutes after it stopped hailing, all the hailstones had gone. The size of mint imperials, so size of a full-grown ram's horn snail. Let's just put it that way. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were some dented cars or cars with cracked windscreens today. Or, yeah, it was yesterday it happened. So yeah, there's probably going to be some cars with dented roofs and bonnets, and yeah, dump them on. It did, but it was a good one because Mary got it in the Stowmarket, which is like 45 minutes away, and it kept going all the way up until I nearly misread that as dumper none, but I think nuns by definition are single. And what do nuns wear under their habit? Is it like women with hijabs, and they're all covered up with the hijab, and then underneath they've got their lingerie, stockings and suspenders on? I do quite like the idea that underneath a nun's habit she's wearing a leather. Hailstones the size of someone's hand. Yeah, that they do happen. Generally, we don't get those extremes over here. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to be outside in that hail yesterday. I mean, few weeks, couple of months ago, it hailed quite heavily while I was on a bike ride, and that hurt enough, and they were only small. These sort of regular size hailstones, not even the size of peas. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be out in shorts and t-shirt with that stuff coming down yesterday. Even I would have stopped and found somewhere to shelter just to get out of it. Well, the amount of rain came down as well, that would have been bad enough. Yeah. I just see that underneath, especially the younger nuns, underneath their habit is like a leather harnessy, corsety thing and stockings. It's just the way my mind works. Not that you see many nuns these days, anyway. Pink leopard print lingerie. Yes, exactly. That's what's under the hijabs. That's what that is. and we're now going to get all the hate from any Muslims who happen to watch. Not that I think many probably will. I think we're probably safe. Maybe at the start of each video I should eat a bacon sandwich. Now, because then all the vegans would come after me. And not that I'm worried about a vegan, let's be honest. I think even I could beat up a vegan. Now, you see, Tom's even pervier than me. He thinks they're nude underneath. Yeah, I could go with that. Definitely has to be a bit careful about when you're sort of kneeling and praying or going out in the wind. I think that might have been a... You can't have beef for vegans because it's beef, they can't have it. You don't have a beef with a vegan, you have a tofu. Or a soy protein. Or a thing that's supposed to be meat but isn't and doesn't taste like it or look like it, but they're relying on the fact that the people who are vegans haven't eaten meat in so long that they can't remember what it actually looks and tastes like. Dry like cardboard. Their soul. Yeah. Well, I did hear that apparently that vegan teacher has been sort of cancelled. Can't believe it's not me. Rumour has it that's what Melania says to Donald. Yeah, it's just nasty. And they try and trick you as well. Yeah, I mean, there's some vegetarian, vegans type things I'll eat, you know, donuts, cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, potatoes, although they've either got to have gravy or butter on them. Man, when you fry potatoes, you don't mind they have mayonnaise on or ketchup. Yeah, because mayonnaise definitely isn't vegan. Because, you know, mayonnaise has two main ingredients, eggs and oil. If it's not made from eggs and oil, it's not mayonnaise, it's mayonnaise substitute. Yeah, it's designed to be able to fit in at barbecue, but it doesn't. Yeah, that's not veg mayo. That's just nut squeezings. That's whatever slurry they kind of made up and then figured out what weird stuff they got to put in there to make it taste kind of like mayonnaise. I'll bet it doesn't. I'll bet vegan mayo isn't sold in Belgium. For those who don't know, the Belgians love their frites and mayonnaise, which is French fries. Actually, yeah, ketchup would be vegan, wouldn't it? And it's tomatoes, vinegar, sugar, salt, preservatives. Nothing meaty in that. Brown sauce is probably vegan as well. But then if you're going to be vegan or veggie or whatever, then you can't have cauliflower cheese. So, or bacon or burgers, and, or pizza. So why take away what little joy there is in life, I'd say. Yeah. So vegan and vegetarian eat products um, that are naturally occurring. Like it's just a food that, like an onion bhaji, for example, or a lot of the Indian curry dishes that are vegetarian. They're delicious, but they're delicious because they're not marketed as vegan or vegetarian. Mind you, they've probably got ghee in it, so probably not technically vegan. Um, yeah, I'm trying to remember. Is it a religious thing or a caste thing? I can't remember. Or just because there's not a lot of meat around. Yeah, I say certain veggie foods are really quite delicious. The ones that pretend to be a non-veggie food, because vegetarians still want to fit in, they don't want to look like they're completely weird. Yeah, they're nasty. I mean, different cultures. Every state has their own culture. It's all the same religion. It's Hindi, yeah, Hinduism, isn't it? Hindi. Yes, different cultures, of which the Brits have basically stolen all the best bits from and then anglicised anglicised it so it's a bit more suitable for the Western taste. In other words, they basically take a curry and try to a curry dish and try to make it taste like, well, meat and two veg with gravy that's got some spice in it. Hence tikka masala, which is basically chicken and rice with gravy. Um, and Hinduism's been around a lot longer than Catholicism or Christianity as well. So I've been more inclined to follow Hinduism than Christianity. But cows are sacred, and I like burgers, so not going to work. And cows are cool. Don't get me wrong. Question I never asked: why are Anglo Indians black? Probably because there's not been enough generations for it to. Yeah, basically, they've not been over here long enough to lose the need for dark skin. Is what I'm going to say as a evolutionary trait, or like Africa. Pass. I'm guessing probably mostly immigrated from areas where it is naturally darker skinned peoples. I'm trying not to trip up and say anything overtly racist accidentally. I'm trying to remember which parts of India are darker and which parts are lighter. Ugh. Is it the north that is darker because it's near the equator, and the south that is lighter because it's further away? I can't remember. South Indians are dark. Yeah. So yeah, it's probably South Indians then that have more. We've got more Southern Indians that have emigrated to the UK than Northern, is what I would guess. And it's still got the sort of native cultures going on to some extent, where arranged marriages, that kind of thing. You can only marry another Indian person, so yeah, that kind of thing. Before I start ending up in eugenics and talking about bloodlines, racial purity or anything, and trigger all the buzzwords that get the stream not just demonetized but taken down, and then have to explain that I was trying my best not to be racist, Mr. YouTube. And none of it was meant in that manner. This is very hard to have a discussion on the subject without saying words that do get you in trouble. I'm sure we've all seen George Carlin's list of words you can't say on TV. He would be spinning in his grave if he knew the amount of words we couldn't say these days on YouTube. Although I think some people do make a lot more of it than it is actually a thing. It's probably people are saying things in a derogatory manner rather than this open discussion like we would have. So if you say it in our manner, it's not necessarily offensive. Whereas if you say it in the manner someone else might in a video, it might be offensive. And that's the reason why they get told to not use that word. If you're talking about something scientific or factual, bullying needs to be brought back so people don't get offended by words. Yes. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never harm me. It was the old saying. Yeah, basically, I think that is the thing with Generation X. We got being offended beaten out of us in school. We just learned if you said something that was highly offensive, you tended to get a wallop for it. Or if someone said something like that to you, you walloped them. So you learned not to do it. Kind of simple, really. Not being sat down and talked to so you understand. Being asked what makes you feel like you need to use that word. Why do you think I felt the need to call him a beep? It's because he was being a beep. Yeah, I was just telling the truth. Yeah, I think our teachers kind of understood a lot more about how we were than stop with participation trophies and safe spaces. No, it's safe spaces. It's your bedroom. I mean, these days there is no such thing as a GCSE fail. GCSEs being our school exams when we leave high school. There's no such thing as a fail. They've changed from letters to numbers now, so it just confuses people even more because you can't remember which one's good and which one's bad. But when I was at school, an A, B, or C was a pass, a D, E, or F was a fail, and a U was basically you didn't turn up. Or you just wrote "I am a fish" 300 times on the piece of paper, and yeah, yeah, you lose, you don't get anything. Yeah. Need to get rid of the fear of failure. I think that's probably what it is, because we all fail all the time. We all screw things up all the time. It's how you learn from that and move forward. 3 U's, ungradable. They literally wrote their name on the paper and fell asleep. That's pretty much all you've got to do. As the GCSEs contained coursework, it should have been theoretically impossible to get a U if you've done any of the coursework. So yeah, basically what they've done is they've misspelt their name and then fallen asleep. Yeah, I do find it very amusing watching the videos. People like the Dad Bod veteran. It's usually him replying to Gen Z stuff from a Generation X standpoint. One the other day that really made me laugh. Howdy, Andrew. How you doing, my bud? Where there's a young girl, bless her. She had the greatest of intentions. 0. Fail. Yeah, exactly. And she had this really great idea that like everyone has a mobile phone, but wouldn't it be great if there's like a phone in the house that like everyone could use? But, oh my dear summer child. We used to have those. He's just very sarcastic, and well, he just tells it like it is, really, doesn't he? But, yeah, if you've not watched Dad Bod Veteran, who's the hippie? Retrained Hippy as well. She's quite funny. She does all sort of bad logo design and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's only short content, no videos that are like a minute long, but good for a chuckle when you've only got a minute or two. We're like, well, it's 5 minutes before I've got to start getting ready for work. Yeah, let's just watch a couple of shorts rather than stick on a 3-hour episode of The Casual Criminalist. Oh dear. Or a 12-hour audio book. Yeah, I'd say non-fish tubers that I enjoy watching. Oh no! The world is ending. I ran out of filters. Do I need the loop? Yeah, I'm just going to run to the loop, have a leak, get some filters, and I'll be right back. Ooh. Oh, that's better. Right. Ooh. Thank you very much, Adele, for popping the link to the Dad Bod Veteran in there. He does have a YouTube channel, obviously. And yes, we're on the off-brand cigarette filters. I can get 480 for the same price as I could get 120 name brand ones. Refashioned Hippy, that was the one. I can't remember if it's spelt with an IE or a Y at the end. I would say it should be in my list of subscribed channels, but I think I've got that set to private. Or it was. Yeah, just in case I subscribe in the odd. Funny though, so Single Mum Saga. And Leon Lush as well, or The Lush Life. Yeah, just kind of light-hearted, funny stuff to watch when you don't necessarily want to be delving into documentaries and learnings or deep interest, something deep. Sometimes you do just want to take your brain out and have a bit of a laugh, just to lighten things up a little. Which is probably a good idea, because some of the dreams I've been having this week when I've been having naps have been very strange. There's one where I had literally, I'd finished reading Clark Ashton Smith's The Mars Cycle, which is cosmic horror set on Mars. Victorian era, I believe, or it's written in that way anyway. I think he post Lovecraft, but very similar. And I was eating blue cheese while I was reading that, finishing that off with some dolciolata. And I was like, oh, I'm ready for a nap. So I stuck on a long lore video about Warhammer 40k, which you probably none of you know, the World Eaters Legion, who were renowned for being bloodthirsty berserker murderers. Yeah, that was an interesting dream. Yeah. And that was a long nap, so it was a long dream. There was a lot happened. And what made it even weirder is there was a lot of casual nudity as well. Yeah. You know, when things, certain parts of a dream fit together, the other parts is just like, why? What? Yes, it's yeah. Basically, it was my normal kind of dream, just with boobs. I'm generally far more likely to dream about something very dark and spiky and nasty than I am about something soft and bouncy. Which is kind of disappointing, because, you know, I'd rather dream about the latter. Oh, pardon me. But anyway, while we are, so that be what Mary got me for Father's Day. Very posh book on repairing bikes. And the same company have a YouTube channel where they go through all the repairs. That's the one refashioned hippie. And it's the same dude who wrote the book who does the YouTube videos. So if there's anything I need to do on my bike and I'm not necessarily 100% sure how to do it, I can read the book, then I can watch the video, and I will know what tools I need and how to do it. Because some things these days aren't as obvious as they used to be. There's some very strange bolt shapes and things going on with bikes these days. Yeah, refashioned hippie. She's very funny and rather top heavy, and Dad Bob veteran. Yeah, he's just very funny and has an epic beard. He's very dry sense of humor. He's very droll. Almost say it's an English sense of humor. I'm just hoping that I don't get some weird video suggestions, considering some of the stuff I've been watching lately, but you never know. Thankfully, the sheer transparent mesh dress try-on videos seem to have disappeared. He's not dense. He's got a good brain on him. Where are the days when, good old days, when he threw the instructions away and just started messing about? I'll still quite happily pull something apart like that, but when my personal safety is involved and it's my main form of transport, I'm going to be a little bit careful. Yeah, those videos exist on YouTube. But they go to great pains at the start of the videos, because I did watch a couple, just like, what the hell? They go great pains at the start of the video to say this is not sexual, this is just to show what these clothes look like and to review and talk about the clothes. And here's what it looks like with the bra, and here's what it looks like without the bra. No, and then at the end, it's the link to their OnlyFans. Yeah, no, it is sexual. You're just putting disclaimers in that it isn't. This is a fashion channel. This has nothing to do with drawing people to pay to see me naked. Yeah, it's basically very softcore porn. And it's not even 18 rated, which is what gets me. Because you can upload stuff and put an 18 rating on it, I believe. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest though, those kind of things are designed to appeal to teenage boys. New shorts start out like a normal video thing, and a blip pops up on screen. If you stop the video and scroll to the blip, yes, spam born. Probably got, and probably set so if you download the video, it's got a Trojan in it, or a virus or something like that. So yeah, another reason. I mean, the main reason I don't download videos is, yeah, I can watch it again if I want because I can just find it. Or chances are there might be some kind of either bot or Trojan or malware embedded in it somewhere. And I'd rather not report them. Yeah, if I found that, I'd report it as well because I'm a creator. If I have to be careful about what I do and say, well, then so should every other bugger. I mean, each their own. I get it, and I'm not going to be offended if adult entertainment shows up on my screen. I'll be like, ooh. Yeah, I'm with you, Tom. One was a kindergarten teacher in a kid's classroom. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what that vegan teacher has been in trouble for. Someone posted a joke video where they're giving their sister's baby not a barbecue rib to eat. I mean, they're not eating it. It's like little babies do. And she got really upset about this vegan teacher. And she likened giving a baby a rib to suck on, barbecue rib, to, well, it's a body part, so it's no different to putting your manhood in their mouth. I get they're both body parts, but they're different species, and one is completely non-sexual. One is food. The other is pedophilia. I mean, some things I can kind of get behind, or at least kind of see where the logic came from. You know, like people who don't understand how cows work, thinking that by us drinking the milk, it means a calf somewhere is going hungry. No, if we didn't milk the cows would probably die, or their udders would burst, or they'd just be very uncomfortable at the very least. Or the whole eggs being chicken abortions, like we forcibly remove the egg from the chicken. Like, no, if they don't drop them every day, they get egg bound and then they die. You know, so the egg is going to happen. It's just whether you eat it or not, and they're not necessarily all going to be fertile. And if you've ever cracked a fertile egg open, you'll know what I mean. Because lots of people around here keep chickens, and yeah, let's be honest, even I can tell the difference between a properly free range, wild almost hen's egg and one that's been farm bred. Getting behind us. Oh yeah, I'll quite happily get behind paedophiles and beat them with a baseball bat. Yeah, Dairy Farmer says like debunking the Karens. Yeah, it's like it all starts out with an influencer that either just pushes facts out of the way that don't agree with their thinking and just goes with, this is my thinking, and then people believe it and the whole thing grows until enough people point out, no, you're wrong. And what do you think is going to happen to all these animals if we stop eating them? Yeah, they're all going to get shot and burnt in a field. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, cows get udder infections, mastitis. Yeah, exactly. You need to milk them. Yes, that's basically what a lot of these things are. It's like a cult, but online rather than everyone being in the same place, like the Branch Davidians or whatever, or Jim Jones. Back in the day when the cultists all had to get together, they were quite easy to segregate and keep an eye on. But when that's what it is. It's the cult of veganism. And I'm not tarring all vegans with the same brush because not all vegans are like that. The majority probably aren't. The majority have probably legitimate reasons for how they feel and how they've made their choices. It's an e-cult, whereas the old type of cults were spread by word of mouth, so an oral cult, so occult. I wonder if that's where the name comes from. Yeah, I would say the majority of veggies and vegans are absolutely fine, normal people. They just got a slightly weird diet. It's the extreme ones, but they're the ones that you notice. And it's probably similar with people who are a pure carnivore and all they eat is meat. Neither of them are going to be healthy. You're vegetarian curious. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I mean, I eat meat. I eat the occasional bit of veg. I mean, I class a jam donut as one of my 5 a day. So if I eat the pack of 5, then I have my 5 portions of fruit and veg a day. But I'm not a huge fan of veg. So yeah, it's raspberry jam. So 5 donuts is 5 portions, which is 5 portions of O-cult was secretive for a reason, which the E-cult forgot. Yeah. Yeah, sugar's not bad for you. Oh dear. And hey, sugar is a vegetable as well. It either comes from a sugar beet, which is basically a very sweet turnip, or sugar cane. In the UK, it's mostly from sugar beet. Sugar is a condiment. It's an ingredient. It's an ingredient, and it just makes certain things taste better. I mean, like, now there are plenty of energy drinks that are sugar-free. Work that one through in your head for a minute, all right? An energy drink that has 0 calories. Where does the energy come from? Salt and sugar are the worst kind of drugs. I live on Red Bull. Sarcasm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt that at some point I'm going to develop diabetes, but whatever. Got to develop something at some point. Yeah, taurine. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, an energy drink without energy in it. And you think that the xylitol and the aspartame are somehow healthier for you than the sugar? But sugar rots your teeth. No, it doesn't. Because in a liquid form, dissolved in a drink, it's in your mouth for but a couple of seconds. However, if you eat a bag of crisps, chips, or Now, the ones made from potato or maize or whatever they're made from these days, some of them, when they get stuck in your teeth and they sit there for a good while, you know, they can sit there for hours stuck in your teeth. That's what causes tooth decay. Or a piece of a sweet or candy stuck in your tooth, that will cause tooth decay. A sweet drink won't. Pardon me. Because, you know, we've massively reduced the amount of sugar that children intake. You know, that's probably more down to the acid, but I drink 2 litres of Coke a day and I don't suffer from cavities in my teeth. And my teeth are pretty manky, but that's another. Taurine used to come from bull semen, and then they figured out how to make it artificially. So when you're drinking a can of Red Bull, you're not drinking bull jizz, which would definitely make it non-vegan. Synthesized, that's the word. Perhaps that's why Red Bull used to taste a bit salty. But yeah, the whole sugar bad for your teeth thing is a myth. It's the starchy ones that are the problem. It's starchy foods that stick in your teeth. So basically, if you eat a bag of crisps or chips and then have a good swill out and wash your mouth out with some Coke, you're good to go. And before I end this stream, I will just say I'm not a qualified dietitian, nor doctor, nor nutritionist. I just work on common sense. I do not take anything I say seriously. It is all meant as a joke, unless it was meant seriously. And there we go. I think that disclaimer covers everything, doesn't it? Anyway, thanks to those of you who made it here. I understand it's Father's Day, so most people are probably off doing Fatherly Day stuff. But have a great week. Stay safe. Have fun. Hug your family. Peace out. Rock on. Bye-bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ricky. Happy birthday to you. Catch you later.